Welcome to Professional Learning Module Prompting and Wait Time, supporting students with access to AAC. Today is the day for being awesome. Our session objectives will focus on identifying different prompt types and when to use them, and how to support students with access to AAC. Prompting. There are different types of prompting. Some of those could look like pausing or looking. They could be verbal prompts, auditory. They could be speaking to your communication partner or using their device. They could be using a cue. It could be visually pointing or gesturing. It could be modeling. It could be a light physical touch, a partial physical prompt, a full physical prompt, and or hand-over-hand support. Think of a student that you know who uses AAC. What level of prompting does the student require? To request a motivator. This could be a food, toy, or preferred activity. What kind of prompting do they need to participate in a familiar routine? Opening, calendar, greeting their peers or their teachers. Maybe a warm-up activity. What level of prompting do they need to request to participate in an activity or a task? And then what level of prompting do they require when responding to questions about a lesson? This may also vary depending on the type of lesson. Is this a new skill that the student just learned or a familiar skill? We're going to take a moment and look at some of the problems with hand-over-hand support. There is no choice. There is no autonomy when a staff member is giving hand-over-hand support. Whose voice is it? The students or the staff members? Providing hand-over-hand support forces the communication rather than fosters it. When hand-over-hand is provided, the purpose of the interaction is undermined, and it reduces compliance tasks to be tolerable. They are not communicating. Hand under hand is an alternative to hand over hand. It feels more respectful. No one likes to be forced to do anything. It isn't pushy. It gives control to the learner. It encourages active participation. And it can be reassuring for the learner. Prompting can also follow a hierarchy. A hierarchy is a systematic method of assisting students in learning and skill acquisition processes. Prompts are only used as supports to students when necessary, and they're used only for as long as necessary, with a plan in place to phase out that level of support. Using a prompt hierarchy, most to least, for new skills, could look at devices, vocabulary, or content. You can also use the prompt hierarchy from least to most for an emerging skill that is inconsistent. A prompt hierarchy is not meant to be used in a way that produces prompt dependency for a student. Prompts are also not used to fill in quiet spaces while a student is processing or thinking about the response that they may be giving. A word about modeling. Naturally aided language is essential for teaching AAC and should occur without the expectation of a response. Modeling is a communication partner's behavior that does not involve touching the student. While modeling may indeed prompt responses, modeling to teach AAC can occur outside of the prompting hierarchy. Prompting assumes a response is expected. Take a moment to look at what tools are versus prompts. So as you can see, tools are not faded, but prompts should be faded. Wait time is think time. When teachers in the general education classroom provide at least 3 seconds of wait time before accepting students' responses, the length of the correctiveness of the student's response increases. The number of volunteers greatly increase. And the teacher's questioning strategies tend to be more varied and flexible. Wait time, as think time, may be required to support processing, vision, motor planning. As you wait, observe behaviors. Any change in behavior indicates processing. The brain is thinking. Think time requires quiet time. Talking, touching, distracting the student. Just wait quietly. Give the student your attention. Sensory input while the student is processing interferes with processing results, and it also resets their wait time. It can double the amount of time the student requires to respond. Now we're going to take a look at managing device behaviors. What can I do when a student does use their device appropriately? For example, they perseverate on it, they throw it, or they don't attend to it. We need to identify the cause of the behavior. Could it be sensory? Maybe it's reinforcement from a staff member, either positively or negatively. Is it easy? Is it too hard for them? Is it a new skill? Are their expectations unknown? Has the student learned to touch devices placed in front of him or her, and they are not aware of the fact that they are communicating? Are there environmental triggers? What is our responsibility to students? We are responsible for teaching them. Communication is meaningful interactions. It is the core of learning. Consider their individual interest. Provide repetition in a variety of ways. Respond to student cues and social interaction. Observe their behavior. Reinforce them constructively. Provide feedback, not just praise. Provide ample modeling of the tool that we expect the student to use. That could be an iPad, that could be a communication application, a step-by-step communicator, a tech talk, and the list can go on and on. Pair visuals with devices so students are aware of the message. We have responsibilities to our students. We also want to foster positive relationships. Communication is respect. Look at the student when you're talking to them. Get down on their level if needed. Refrain from talking negatively about the student, their family, their lunch. Presume competence. Refrain from engaging in a power struggle and give the student an out if needed. Provide a safe culture and community. What is our responsibility to the student? Do as you would do for your child. Give them guidance towards constructive behaviors. Tell why the behavior is inappropriate. Redirect the behavior. Provide a generic message that are meaningful and within the context. Use naturally aided language to help them express why this is hard. Use naturally aided language to model an alternative response. I want a break. I need help. Provide feedback to improve the interaction. Your device says the day of the week. Look at the choices. Think in your head. Provide communication tools to students. Taking away the student's voice is not an option. Helping students learn to use their communication tools takes a village.